Indian Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope in Nigeria, and we believe that a new Nigeria is possible. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on our time zone. We come today again, will be Sunday. Make we forget some discussion because many things they happen for Nigeria. But I just get one or two things we say I want bring to well-meaning Nigerians and opinions today. And that is what is happening in Delta. Delta is on fire, Delta State. And I mean Okuama community, to be precise. Many residents of Okuama in the Ughelli South local government area and Okoloba in the Bomadi local government area of Delta State, they have all fled their communities as soldiers took over the area and set houses ablaze, allegedly set the houses ablaze in reaction to the killing of 15 soldiers, including senior officers. A report that is coming in is that about 50 bodies of soldiers were recovered by the Joint Task Force under the supervision of the General Officer commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, at the Okuama community. Some of the recovered corpses have their heads severed off, while the stomach of others were ripped off, with some of the vital organs missing. This all happened at the NDDC jetty in the community. The bodies of these commanding officers and the two majors were seen floating by the riverbank as others was separated on the land. And our own PO, His Excellency P2B, has actually come up to talk about this. But meanwhile, I will get to that. The entire communities in the Bomadi and Ughelli South local government area were condoned up by troops of the 6th Division Nigerian Army in Port Harcourt, who also oversee the 63 Brigade in Asaba. The two communities have been engaged, of course, in communal land disputes since January. And when some youths from Okoloba were said to have ambushed and killed 3 Okuama youths, that started the whole issue. It's an age-long land dispute that has now translated in people in the whole community being affected. All houses razed. Whether it is by these soldiers, reports are still coming on. Some Okuama youths, ambushed one Mr. Tony Abo, the indigenous of Okoloba, and held him hostage. That resulted in what we are seeing today. The chairman of the Okoloba community alerted the division police officer in Bomadi Police Division, and it was then that the JTF, that is the Joint Task Force, swiftly swung into action and moved to the Okuama to rescue the hostage that was there. That is when everything happened. But then the aggrieved youth of this Okuama, on sighting the Joint Task Force personnel, opened fire on them at the waterfront and killed 2 soldiers with some others missing. And it goes on and on. This situation degenerated to a gun duel between the youth and the military, leading to some soldiers sustaining severe bullet wounds. Well, should this be happening at this very time when when our country is already in this hunger and hardship saga? All communities now, they are on their feet, running away. Where are they going to stay? Where are they fleeing to? To neighboring states, to neighboring towns. Would you blame the army even if it is said that they said these houses are blamed? Yes, to an extent. We shouldn't take, laws into our hand. People would have caused this very incident, but of course, people must be held accountable for their action, not everybody in that community. But let's take this what our own His Excellency P2B has choked his mouth inside, and let's bring that very one out so that we can be able to tread along the line of his thoughts. He started with just last week. Several policemen were reportedly killed while on duty in Delta State. We are still recovering from the shock over such a sad occurrence when yesterday we were besieged with the gory report of the killing of 22 officers and men of the Nigerian Army. Also in Delta State, in both sad incidents, the dead personnel were on active duty of securing and keeping peace within our communities, state, and country before the unfortunate end, even by the people they were trying to help. This killing is barbaric and totally unacceptable and should not be tolerated by Nigerians and any sane society. For a nation already combating a high level of insecurity, the killing of our security personnel who put their lives on the line for the security of the nation will be too much of a burden to bear. This sad occurrence and many cases of killing, kidnapping, and violent crimes around the country have continued to fuel very deep concerns over the security of the nation. These security operatives are making a lot of sacrifices in their line of duty and in some cases pay the supreme price. We must therefore appreciate and value them by showing empathy towards them and ensuring health care for those who are wounded. There should be adequate compensation and welfare package for the families of those who die in active service. All of us should always show our love by commiserating with their families, even visiting them in such difficult times. I sincerely condole with the families of the security personnel that died and their security formations, Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Police Force respectively, over the sad loss of their personnel. I encourage them not to be dispirited by this ugly development, but see it as a challenge to increase their effort in their duties. I urge the government and the security agencies to leave no stone unturned in investigating, arresting, and prosecuting those behind this ugly act. May God grant eternal rest to all the security officers who have lost their lives fighting for the peace and security of our nation. May God grant all of us the fortitude to bear the sad, irreplaceable loss. Signed, Peter Obi. This situation is really out of hand. We can see gallant officers, lieutenant colonels, captain, commanding officers, all down because of a land dispute. Now, it has affected the communities that you can see burning houses everywhere because the soldiers has reacted. As a matter of fact, the whole community is sacked. As if this is another fight, Boko Haram fight going on over there. You can't blame the military. When their personnel are down, especially officers, they will always react. So if you are down at this weary side and where these things are happening, please be safe. That's all we can say at the moment. That is, be safe for the people who did not participate in this very act. Be safe. But for those of you who opened fire on the Nigerian forces, the law will catch up with you. It will surely catch up with you. This shouldn't be happening at this very time when this country is in hunger, is in hardship. That shouldn't be happening. Our soldiers are fighting. Going out, we see what is happening in Kanu. We see what the abductions that are in Kaduna. We just got another one that come in demanding billions and all of that. And our soldiers are really working. The commanding officer of 3 Battalion, Efrun, and commanding officer of 181 Amphibious Battalion, Abo, could not be reached for comments at the time of we are having this report because we keep trying to reach out to them to know how it is going. But the police relations officer in the state, which is DSP Bridget Edafi, stated that the Delta State Police Command is not aware of the incident. But the Nigerian Army confirmed the killing of its officers and men, whom it noted were on a peace mission in the Okuama community. Anyway, that will go, and let's continue. We are trying to still reach out to the Army headquarters to get some of the distance, but what we are getting is the reinforcement team led by the commanding officer, also leading to the that came for that very thing. They all had issues. So we'll come back to that, but let's take this very documentary on what BBC uncovered, the hideout of these bandits who are proud to actually say that they collected ransom, who are proud to be on camera to state that they killed their victims. Is very, very unfortunate. Our officers are working, yes, we can this Delta, but other things are happening in the bush. Why would these same kidnappers and bandits, they will come out in camera, show their faces, especially where people are, and still we say they are bandits, we cannot reach them? How will we say that about 280 people kidnapped are inside the boot and still cannot be located? And still 200 and something people in the bush that cannot be located. Well, can go to comment section, tell us what you feel. But before we come back, let's take this documentary that is very well documented, how they say they are killing people and how much they are taking from government, even when the government say that they are not paying ransom. You will hear from them. Let's take a lesson from this BBC documentary.
Authorities in Zamfara think there are as many as 30,000 bandits out here, split into around 100 heavily armed gangs. Ado Aliru commands one of those gangs. He is one of the most feared warlords in Zamfara. The police have put a bounty on his head of 5 million naira for his role in a recent massacre.
Mun kaga mu mun dauko bindigogin mu mun shigo karkara ita ce zanga-zangan mu gaskiya. Lokacin gwamnati za ta tashi ta gano cewa shi menene matsalar mu, idan ta neme mu mu gaya mata matsalar mu.
Ka duba ka gani akwai labi ko wurin inda za su kiwo, ka yi alƙalanci a matsayinka na ɗan jarida, ka duba ka gani akwai shi ko babu. Ban sanuwa inda mana ta yi sai dai mutum ya shiga ko ka ɗauke ta ga kai ko ka bi hanyar mota ko hanyar jirgi ko ka kai ta cikin dutse ta faɗuwa tana wasu na mutuwa. Wanda ya yi daji can ya tafi daji, dajin ma jirgi na biye da mutane na kashe musu dabbobi. Shi bahilla ce ya an kai yanzan banza a Najeriya.
Ka ɗauki kamar mutum nawa a kidnapping?
Ai ban taɓa ɗauko mutum ba. Sai dai yara. Amma ni da kaina ban taɓa ɗauko mutum ba, sai dai in je harbe shi.
Ka harbi kamar mutum nawa? Ka harbi kamar mutum nawa?
To gaskiya yan banga kan tsakani da Allah da Annabi wanda na kashe gaskiya. To gaskiya tsakanin da Allah gaskiya ban san iyakar su ba yanzu.
If the bandits of Zamfara want to hurt the government, they also want to make money. In early 2021, these two aims combined in an attack that copied the tactics of Boko Haram. Nearly 300 schoolgirls were abducted from the government-run high school in Jengebe. Among them were 5 girls from my own extended family.
One house, sonka kokolo su, sonka cero matsatsayan duk sai da sonka taro sonka tura mu tanne abanga ga hanya sonka ce mu haka muna ta haya suna bugun dandagoyi muna ta haya suna bugun dandagoyi.
Ni auren leader kowa ya kama waɗannan sunana. Gaskiya ni dai na ji tsoro kuma na so in ce masa gammata, amma sai ga wani ya shigo ya ce mu buɗe ɗaki. Duk dai wasu sun ka kwanta nan ƙarƙashin gado sun ka shige, ya ce su hito ko ya halbe su, sai duk sun ka hito waje.
This is one of the bandits who led the attack on the girls. It took me 5 months to contact him and another 4 to persuade him to meet. I eventually met Abu Sani deep in the forest. Kana cikin wayanda suka dauka yara a Jangebe ƴan mata?
Kwarai. Muna ciki.
Yara nawa kuka dauka? Mata nawa kuka dauka?
280.
Za ka iya gaya mana dalilin da ya sa kuka ɗauka 'yan matan nan?
Muka zo mu kuma da kaka ta yi ruwa suka yi sauki aka fara turo muna jami'ai inda muke sai muka ce to bari mu goda ma gwamnati in ta shiga wannan lamarin matsala ake samu shi yasa muka zo jan gebe muka ɗauko 'yan makaranta tunda sun hana mu wuce mu zo gida dole mu ɓata mata rai muka zo muka ɗauko 'yan makarantar jan gebe.
Shin wani irin mutum zai shiga ɗaki da yara 'yan mata suke kwance ya ɗauko su da daddare saboda matsala da yake da wani?
To bari yi maka wani misali wanda kila shi za ka yi fahimtar shi. Ka san an ce idan ka yi laifi ɗaya za a yi maka wani ɗigo ga zuciya idan ka ƙara wani za a yi maka ɗigo da haka a ɗige ma zuciya ta zama baƙi irin. To wanda ke irin waɗannan harukokin baya jin ya damu da duk irin abubuwan da ke faruwa saboda bushewar zuciya. Amma mu dai illa abin da zan ce muna ba su haƙuri. Amma mu ba mu ji wata damuwa da irin haka ne sam. Saboda mu iya abin da muke gani mun yi ma gwamnati mun fata mata rai shine kawai.
Gudu sun ka kama tura mara gudu. Muna nan muna gudu muna taka ƙayoyi mun ka kai cikin gebe sun ka ce mu rudduka. Da mun ka rudduka sun ka kama kabbara suna cewa Allahu akbar. Ai yan boko ko mu mun iya karatu in mun ka ta can su karantar da.
Ya ce to kun ga bokon ku ba ta da rana tunda ABCD da kun ka iya. Mun ka ce so bari za mu faɗa musu duk dai wasu karatu haka. Mun fara gaya musu kuma sun ka ce ba su so ya ga karatun boko amma dai kuma wallahi bai da amfani mu bayyane. Mun ka nuna musu ne duk ba mu iya barin karatu. Ce inda sai na ci gaba da makaranta ya ce to ya shi kuma ya sha alwashin duk an ka kuma wannan makarantar sai ya ƙara ɗauka.
In northern Nigeria, kidnap for ransom has become a lucrative industry, a business that has helped to displace close to 1 million people in Zamfara alone. With the Jangebe schoolgirls still in captivity, Zamfara's government was forced to negotiate. To kaman yaya bayan an yi maganganu nawa aka biya ko me aka yi aka ba da yara?
Da mun ce za a ba mu miliyan 300. Daga baya aka haɗa mu da wasu aka yi ta maganganu shine dai suka ba da miliyan 60 aka sake su. Aka suka bayar. Miliyan 60 suka bayar aka sake su.
Miliyan 60. Kaga miliyan 60 din?
Da ido na mu muka karɓo su.
To me kuka yi da wannan kuɗin?
Mun ƙaro bindigogi ne da su.
As we know, the government pays the ransom. You can see it clearly. But what baffles me, and probably you might also want to ponder, is when that first man that was interviewed was clearly saying he can't even remember how many people he has killed. He said, how many people have you kidnapped? He said his men, his boys, kidnap. For him, he kills. And he can't even remember how many people he has killed. And such people are showing their faces and they are still, whether they are still living. I know that our law enforcement officers, I know that our army is fighting this war, and I know they are going to win it. But if this continues to be a lucrative business for some people, why is government not clamping down on those people who it happens to be their business? Well, we'll come back again to talk about all of this because is a lot of ransom demands coming out from 280 people kidnapped in Kaduna. The people from the IDP camp are talking about trillions, an impossible amount for even the Nigerian government to deal with. And we have not forgotten so soon about the Chibok girls. As at just the Chibok girls, the government in power then was meant to almost to surrender, get out of Aso Rock. But what is happening today? As if nothing is happening. Every week, kidnapping goes on. And for the people of Kaduna, they have given them like 20 days. How many has been gone? before they get somebody killed. The government needs to tell his people, tell all the truth, what is going on, because somebody, somewhere are sponsoring this. The money they pay to them, they use it to buy more arms. That is very explicit. That's what they say. Well, we'll come back, we'll revisit all of these issues as we enter this new week. But before we go, let me also inform, there's one video, honestly, that I see somebody in the UK who posted a video about a broken down train. And he spoke about Nigerians putting things out of proportion, assuming that this train has broken down in Nigeria. Oh, they are going to take it up and say as if the government is calm and all of this. But if you are watching this very video right now, I need to tell you that Nigeria you're talking about is a crime scene if you have forgotten because you are in the UK. You talk about a train that has just spoiled. They are going to fix it within a matter of hours. But I will tell you that a train goes missing in Nigeria. Yes, if you don't know, people steal train in Nigeria. So don't compare. But if you think that maybe I'm wrong, watch this. This is very clear coming from MTA. Let's take a listen to that. Stealing train in Nigeria.
These are coaches of the Nigerian Railway Corporation loaded and about to be evacuated to only God knows where before they were intercepted and parked here at the railway terminus in Maiduguri. There are a lot of questions begging for answer in respect to this attempted evacuation of these coaches. Such information are not readily available at press time, but we are going ahead to find out from the authorities concerned. Here at the Bondo State Police Command, the Commissioner in charge has confirmed to NTA News that 6 persons are currently under police custody in connection with that theft attempt, which followed a tip-off by Good Samaritans from around the area where the incident happened. He further confirmed to us that the arrest rhymes with the executive order signed by the Borno State Governor prohibiting all metal scavenging in Borno State.
There was a distress call received from railway quarters. Loader trailers were sighted at railway terminus in Maiduguri, evacuating and loading properties belonging to Nigerian Railway Corporation. The properties include 3 coaches. On the receipt of that information, the Divisional Police Officer ITE mobilized his men to behind railway quarters. And there and then, one Aliu Menasara was arrested. The said Aliu Menasara claimed that he is the director, Northeast District, headquartered in Bauchi, that he has been assigned by the MD of Nigerian Railway Corporation to come and evacuate the coaches to Plateau State, where, according to him, from his claim, that the Railway Corporation wanted to hand it over to Plateau State government to initiate intra-railway transport within Jos Metropolis. But the suspect has no identity to certify his claim that is actually the district manager of Northeast District, Bauchi.
The police commissioner further confirmed that the principal suspect is currently at large and applauded the proactive response of the residents and pleaded for more vigilance to ease and enhance security in the state. In Maiduguri, Maijama Adamu, NTA News.
My brother in the UK posting video of a broken down train that would have been fixed within an hour. I just need you to know that the Nigeria you are referring to is where we are, and we understand it's a crime scene. Nigerians are not serious to take back their, or that we know. So telling us about that broken down truck just reminded me to also bring it to your attention that they train don't just break down in Nigeria. It gets stolen. A whole coach gets stolen. That's what happens here. So show me something else and I will show you how it happens the other side over here. These are how these things happen. Anyway, My well-meaning Nigerians and obedience worldwide, wherever you are watching us from right now, I want to remind us that yesterday we had a meeting of the Cooperative Society, Obedient Family Cooperative Society that we are putting on. We had a very fruitful meeting, and we have extended the second meeting for the Obedient Family Cooperative Society for this coming Saturday by 9 p.m. So I'll keep reminding us every day when I get to the show. If you have not gone to the community platform on WhatsApp, the link is on the description of this very program right now. So you can go there, copy it, send it to someone you know that needs to join. And again, let me give you the objective of creation of this Obedient Family Cooperative Society is redefining our options against 2027, but starting with production, which our PO, His Excellency, has been talking about. It has to do with us supporting our young men who are into agriculture, fish farming, cash crop, and other things, supporting them so that they can further create food that will, diminish this very hunger situation that we have now. We will support them with whatever is necessary to support them so that they can produce something, sell that very something, and then have their profits. And by so doing, we'll create our structure within all the local governments in Nigeria. Being together and not dying in hunger till then, so that we can make sure that the new Nigeria that we're talking about must be possible. So please, never hesitate. Go click on this very link. Join the WhatsApp platform. Make sure you're ready by 9 p.m. on Saturday, coming Saturday, so that we can discuss for the second time on moving forward. Thank you very much for joining us today, being Sunday. And tomorrow, we'll come back again to give you what is going on in Nigeria on all obedience and well-meaning Nigerian needs to know. Until tomorrow, bye for now.
Despite the deployment of dozens of search parties, and now the kidnappers have reached out with a ransom demand of 1 billion Nigerian naira. Our next report explains the unfolding crisis.
This is 13-year-old Aminu Abulahi. On the 8th of March, he left home for school as he usually would, holding hands with his elder brother, 15-year-old Aminu Usman. But the moment the two brothers reached the school, a tragedy unfolded. Panic gripped the school as motorcycle-riding armed men, cloaked in military attire, stormed in.
The bandits came on motorcycles and started shouting and shooting, and all the students ran away and went to the nearby bush. When I was running, one of the bandits, but I was dodging because he was following me on a bike. I was running around looking for a way to escape, and I was able to run across the road and ran inside the bush and came back home from there.
Aminu Abulahi escaped, but unfortunately his elder brother could not. Armed men abducted 286 children and staff members from a school in Nigeria's Kuriga. Innocent kids who went to school as students ended up as hostages. 6 days on, their parents are still waiting for their children to come home. The kidnappers have demanded a ransom of 1 billion naira, which is about $2,000 per hostage, a cruel price for the lives of innocent souls. The kidnappers have set a 20-day deadline. They say if the ransom is not paid, they will kill all 286 children.
How can these gunmen come and carry our children? This is the reason why I am so sad. This is our Kuriga. Please, Your Excellency, help us.
The government has deployed dozens of officials to look for the missing children. The officials have been directed to sweep through forest areas to look for them. But so far, little detail has emerged. Families of these children say they don't trust the government and that the time is running out.
Since this happened, my brain has been scattered. I can't even walk around because I'm worried about the children and their condition. My child didn't even eat breakfast before leaving. It's been 2 days now and we don't know anything.
The incident in southern Nigeria has been the biggest mass kidnapping targeting a school since 2021. But Nigeria has been struggling with the problem of mass abductions for years now. The country's soil has been stained with the tears of countless families torn apart by senseless violence. Such kidnappings were first carried out by jihadist group Boko Haram in 2014. About 276 teenage schoolgirls were kidnapped from the Borno state. In 2018, over 110 girls from the Yobe state were kidnapped by insurgents. In 2020, over 300 boys were abducted from the Katsina state by gunmen on motorcycles. In 2021, about 300 schoolgirls were kidnapped in a nighttime raid from the Zamfara state. The Boko Haram tactic is now being adopted by several criminal gangs. These new gangs mostly have no political or religious affiliation, but they commit these mass kidnappings. According to reports, over 4,500 people have been kidnapped after President Bola Tinubu assumed office in May 2023. In most cases, almost all the kidnapped were released for ransom payments after weeks or months in captivity. With their faith in the authorities dwindling over the years, family members of those kidnapped usually pool in their savings for ransom money. But the Nigerian president has asked the families in Kuriga to not pay even a dime to the kidnappers. For now, the helpless parents stare out of their windows with uncertainty. Not knowing if they will ever be able to hold their children again, they cling on to the fragile threads of hope, praying for a miracle.